Hello everybody, Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. This is the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel where we discuss a variety of topics as it relates to pro wrestling. All sorts of interesting stuff there. And as mentioned, there'll probably be about, 15, 17 of these uploaded today. Don't really know. Depends on my schedule. But anyhow, as we continue to add into the ever-growing archive 2600 deep. Continue to do that as often as we can here. This is the continuation of an effort to have the widest pro wrestling archive available, so you don't have to waste a bunch of time watching stuff that isn't the best. Anyhow, so NWA Power Results for the third of May 2022. Aaron Stevens opened the show with May Valentine, still the worst announcer in pro wrestling anyway, announced that he's done with wrestling. Stevens said the NWO is a place for him to be rejuvenated, but it's time for him to be done. Valentine starts crying, and Stevens asks for the camera to be cut. Looked like Valentine had feelings for Stevens, and she asked him to go to Brazil with her. Stevens said it's a solo thing, and Valentine cried. This was very bizarre. Anyway, Billy Corgan on commentary briefly discussed Stevens, said he wasn't sure Stevens was done. For now, he was. The brief recap, Rebellion and the Briscoes from last week. Nick Aldis defeats Mike Bennett. Beautiful match to open the show. Bennett gets a bunch of shine in the match. Aldis wins after selling for the majority of the match and scrapes by and win due to toughness. Bennett starts the match charging at Aldis before he could get his jacket off. Aldis moves, Bennett crashes into a middle turnbuckle. He staggers around, and then at the start of the match, Aldis immediately hits him with a Michinoku driver for a near fall. Aldis hits a clothesline for another near fall. Aldis then catches a crossbody and moves into a vertical suplex for a third near fall. Aldis is pretty dominant. Bennett locks on a Kimura. Aldis tries to superplex him, but then there is the snap of the arm over the top rope and begins working on the forearm, and Aldis continues to attack the arm, including hitting a baseball slide into the arm. Bennett then goes for a spear. Aldis gets his knees up. Aldis then goes for a vertical suplex, but is unable to lift Bennett due to damage to his arm. Bennett hits a suplex on his own. Aldis then hits clotheslines with a good arm, but lands on his bad one after a flying European uppercut. Bennett then hits a sleeper, but Aldis drives back into the turnbuckle. Bennett then jumps over Aldis and hits with a spear for a 2 count. Bennett then hits a rolling elbow to Aldis and goes for a pile driver, but Aldis blocks and attempts to counter into the cloverleaf, but his arm prevents him from locking it on. Aldis then rolls through and sunset flip attempt, but Bennett then goes for the cloverleaf again, but managed to lock it on. Bennett tapping out this time. Matt Cardona backstage claimed that Aldis lost and he's getting a rematch. Cardona then tells Aldis to get back into the back of the line. Fixtures, Wrecking Ball Legursky and Jay Bradley defeat the Rude Dudes. Jamie Stanley and El Rudo. Rudo kicks Wrecking Ball early and Wrecking Ball yells. This stresses him out. Rudo and Stanley lock on a few basic moves, headlocks and the like, but they failed shoulder tackles against a much larger foe. Fixtures yelled Fixtures every time they didn't sell the tackle. Rudo's ran the ropes and hit cross bodies, and Rudo and Stanley managed to throw Jay Bradley into Wrecking Ball, but then the advantage didn't last all that long. Stanley then tried to Irish whip Bradley, but Bradley sits down and throws Stanley face first into the chest of Wrecking Ball. And Stanley locked on an O'Connor roll attempt. Bradley sent flying through the middle ropes on this, and suicide dive. Hits his own partner. And then the Fixers hit a knee drop and a splash combo on Stanley. A few minutes later for the pinfall. Highlight video of Jack Stain successfully defending the national title against Marty Rockett. On the NWA USA program, Pope talked about the ups and downs of life and how desperate, despite his loss to Um, Matt Cardona is going to keep going. Mims is there with Tyrus Slam Challenge. Mims successfully slamming Tyrus on the third try. It's basically a push-off. Mims then takes out Black Chiefs Clearwater and then hits a big strong slam on Arquette, securing a title shot against Tyrus. Crowd is going nuts for Mims. Mims should beat Tyrus for the TV title. Austin Idol claimed that he's going to sue and not give the match to Mims. Matt Taven and Gemicide are backstage with May Valentine. Taven wanted to challenge Matt Cardona. He says he's going to work his way up the ladder, taking on Judas next week. Gemicide wants to move towards the title as well and announced that she'd be facing Kylan King and Chelsea Green. Billy Corgan then announced that there's going to be a six-man tag next week with Harry Smith, Doug Williams, and Nick Aldis against the Cardonas. Angelina Love joined commentary for the main event. Mickie James defeats Kenzie Page. Solid match between James and Page. Page is underrated. She is not out of place in the ring with James. Mickie James then uses her experience to keep Page down for a while. Basic headlocks and other basic move, wrist locks and the like. Page then sidesteps, dropkick, and does a crucifix for the new 2 count. Transitions into a pinfall attempt before Page locks on the crossface. James then makes it to the ropes, but Page does pull her back into a wrist lock, and Page and then cartwheels. James then hits a hard forearm, hits a running boot, and James catches a super kick and transitions into a half crab. Page then makes ropes as Page gets up and hits a super kick for 2 count. Kenzie Page had James in submission, but Mickie ducks and gets out before the neckbreaker on Page. Page then hits a counter. James basically hits a flapjack. James then goes for the chick kick, but Page ducks and hits a clothesline. And 2 count, James then hits DDT for the win. She shakes hands with her as the show closes. We'll be back with more right after this.